Yeah, it's going, guys. It's Chuntai here, and today we're just going to be going through a video. I thought I'd do a little video on my honest thoughts on Assassin's Creed Shadows. Don't stress about the gameplay, it's just me doing a castle, so there'll be no story spoilers or anything like that if you haven't finished it. But this is more going to be like, what would I say, probably like my views so far on the game because I haven't finished it yet. So I think I'm about last I checked, I think I was about 40% through in the story, I'm pretty sure. So it's more going to be my views so far, what I'm thinking of the game. And then once I've finished it, I'll probably do another video to do like my final thoughts of the game. But yeah, so with this channel now, I'm sort of going to stick to my Assassin's Creed content and keep it based around that. I might throw a couple of random games in between here and there, see how we go. But it's mainly going to be Assassin's Creed content from now on. So I'll chuck my links in the description for all my other socials, like my Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that, where I'll probably post a bit more frequent on there, just because at the time being, I probably only really have the time to make maybe one video a week, maybe two if I'm lucky. I might try and start pre-recording things. Maybe spend a day or two making a couple of videos so then I can upload more frequent. But for now, it might be once every week or two. But yeah, everyone just chuck a like and subscribe and check out all my other channels like my Instagram and that, and chuck a follow on there just for all things Assassin's Creed. Really, I'll be posting good, nice photos that I've gotten in the game. What else? I'll post like updates and news and just basically news and like views on the game. And yeah, we'll stop all that talk from me and we'll just get into the video and we'll start talking about the game. So I personally think this is probably one of my favorite games in the series. I'm not gonna lie. It's definitely not the best in the series. I do have a video planned where I'm gonna do I'll rank every mainline game, and then I'll probably do another one where I rank like the side games like Chronicles and stuff like that. But I'm in the kind of in the works of doing my ranking on all the mainline games, which I've got a rough list, but it's not a final list. I've still got to go through it a bit and think what I'm really gonna do with it and stuff like that. So, but for now, focus on this game itself. I would honestly probably, yeah, I'd say this is probably high up there. It's definitely in my top five of the games, to be honest. I know it's a bit of a hot take because I've seen this game has been copping a bit of flack, which I can see why people do have a bit of a rough or like mixed emotions on this game. Like I can see where people don't like it, but personally, it's all personal preference at the end of the day. So don't shoot me for me saying I like it and it's in my top five. It's just personal preference. I enjoy the game, and that's why we play the game. So um, I really like it. The flow and the look of the game's nice. Feudal Japan's beautiful. I love the setting. The only thing I don't like with the setting is how dense the jungles are, or forests, as you might call them. I'm not sure, jungles, forests. Then, I don't know, it's kind of, sometimes you just want to take a little bit of a shortcut and when you're traveling, because you do have to travel a lot in this game sometimes when you haven't gotten viewpoints in some of the areas you haven't been in. So you normally, to have like a good flow of travel, you got to stick to the roads. But I mean, sticking to the roads is good because you do get to see like I suppose, a lot more of the map, and then you can find a lot more, off roads to secret places, and then stuff to fill up your knowledge points, like your temples and stuff like that. So, I mean, that is good, but yeah, the only thing I find annoying is trying to get through the jungle. Your horse gets caught on every fucking tree there is. There's so many hills and you can't climb up everything, which I do kind of miss that from Valhalla when you could just kind of, and Odyssey where you could just kind of climb up anything. But in a way, it does make the climbing a bit more realistic because I suppose you can't just climb up a random thing if you got nothing to grab on. So it makes sense, but I just wish trying to take your little shortcuts, it was a little more easier. But other than that, like it's it's a really good world. I wish there was maybe a bit more ocean to explore in it. There's not really too much. It's just the only really ocean is the outskirts and stuff, and the naval combat's kind of gone. Which the naval combat I didn't actually mind. From Black Flag. I'm really surprised that they haven't really brought that back into it, but it is what it is. But yeah, I really don't mind this game. They've done well with it. There is a lot of things they could have done better, but yeah, I personally think it's a really good game. I don't think it deserves all. I nearly died there. I don't think it deserves all the hate it's been getting. I think I personally think everyone's a little bit on a Ubisoft hate train at the moment, which I understand. Like they've brought out some pretty horrendous games, especially with Skull and Bones and stuff like that. So I do understand that, but I suppose I'm a bit biased too because I do love the Assassin's Creed series. I really do. So it's kind of like I'm a little bit biased towards it. But I personally do think every game is good in their own way. Like this game, I find one of the standouts in this game is the combat. It'd probably be one of my favourite parts on this game. I just find the combat really satisfying. Just the animations with all the combat, the special moves, abilities you can get, the weapons. But I personally, I've always liked katanas and stuff like that in the game. But you also got I don't remember how to say it, but the fucking blade with the chain and ball on it. I can't remember what it's called, but you know what I'm talking about. Then you got the tantos and that. Like it adds a little. I suppose there's not too much. There's kind of like 3 or 4 weapons for Noe and Yasuke. I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it adds a little bit of variety to it, which I do like, and just the animations with the combat are beautiful. I love them. The I suppose the finishes, if you will, how they've done the finishes, it's awesome. Like they're a bit brutal. With now, you don't really get the flashy dismemberments and stuff. But with Yasuke, you get a couple of them where he cuts their head off and stuff. So it's a good feel, but it kind of puts a difference between both of them. So now you got just this a lot smaller, not as strong character, and then Yasuke, you got this big brutal samurai, which it does fit with it, so I don't mind that. Um, yeah, with the characters, I think I've seen a lot of people didn't like the voice acting, and I can see that mainly with the English voice actors. I understand the English voice actors. I personally didn't like it. I started the game in English, and I actually couldn't do it. I was like, no, I gotta try and see how the Japanese voice is, and oh, it's so much better with the Japanese voice. So I think definitely play it in Japanese. Don't even try it and do the English. And the Japanese just fits with it so much better anyway, with the tone of the game and how it is. So I, that's about all I've got to say on the voice acting side of things. Um, story wise, so far, um, I'm not minding the story. It's a bit of a weird start where it's kind of like it's Nala doesn't really know why she's doing what she's doing. She's just doing it because her dad told her to, which is kind of like she's doing this stuff and following somewhat of a creed, but she doesn't really know why per se, which is it's kind of like it's a bit of a hit and miss. It's like good, but it's not. But once you get a bit through the story, I've only just done it recently because I was doing a lot of side missions and stuff like that. But you do eventually explore. She does go and learn about the creed and why they're doing what they're doing. Or I guess from what I've done so far, she's kind of somewhat learning the startup, and you kind of hear, how the assassins did start in Japan, which is pretty cool. Good addition to it. So it's and Yasuke's interesting. It's a cool to be a character that did exist in history. I think that's something cool that they added there. I haven't done too much with his story. I'm pretty sure I've only. Well, I don't want to give any spoilers, but I've probably done more with Now than I have with him. But so far, I'm not modding his story too much. It's a good flow between the two. So you got one where you kind of following Naoe's journey on how she's learning about the assassins and why she's actually doing what she's doing, and then you got Yasuke, who's he's basically fighting to honor his master, in a way. I think that's probably the easiest way to put it, really. But yeah, the story's nice. There is a good, a couple little plot twists here and there. What I've noticed, not minding the story too much. It's like I said, it's not the best game in the series, but it's definitely is one of the best. I think personally. As I said, it's just personal opinion, so don't shoot me. It's everyone likes their own things. I personally like that. I've been really enjoying the game, and there isn't really much bad I could say about the game, to be honest. Like, I don't mind the whole RPG style and the longer fledged out games, because I personally think with the money you spend, I'd rather a game that's going to take me like 100+ hours to finish than a game that's going to take me like 5 or 10 hours. Because honestly, usually with these games, I do buy the biggest edition, so I am spending like 200 to 300 Australian dollars for these games. So, I do want the game to go as long as possible. I don't want to play a game for like 5, 10 hours and then I'm finished it. Like, I think that's ridiculous for the pricing, because I found that was a thing a lot of people hated with Valhalla. It was so long, like it was 160 hours or whatever it was. But I personally loved it. I like that they've done this and what they do have planned for the future going forwards with, releasing, normal little games and then RPGs after it and stuff. I think that's a good way to go with it. Um, but yeah, story wise with this game, I think the story is fairly good so far. As I said, it's just what I think so far. Could change at the end. I could end up hating it, could end up liking it more, but we'll see what happens when I do my next video once I've finished the game. Um, so outfits and equipment wise, I think they got some pretty good customization in this game. Some of the suits or robes, as you will, they're pretty good. Like you got this one I'm wearing now is the, I believe it's the Assassin's Apprentice robes. They're pretty good. It's good that they've gone back to the the white and red. I think that was a really good touch with it. But you can also get like full blacked out versions and stuff, which also look cool. And you can get like I think you can get like Oni masks or like other types of masks, which look pretty cool on the characters too. I'll probably do a video dabbling into the customization a bit more, and do that in another video. But I keep forgetting too that you can't assassinate some. Well, that's another good thing to add with the combat too. Actually, like there's different skills to certain characters. So, like this one with him, I always forget this, but samurai Ronins and that you can't assassinate front on, otherwise they'll block it. And then like elites and stuff, I think that's a good little touch. It makes you want to sneak a bit more and stuff like that. So I think that's good. Um, and parkour, look, I think the parkour is pretty cool. It's cool that they've added like new animations and a couple of cool flips and stuff. I actually find it pretty cool. I know there's not many different variations to the flips, but I love them. I think they're cool. It's a good addition to the game. Um, there's, I find when you mainly use the parkour is when you're doing like the castles and stuff, and then once you get into the castles, you don't really use it once you're inside. So, but they do have opportunities for you to use it, like the with the rope, the grapple hook, and stuff like that. I think that's a good addition too. Gets you out those big buildings a lot easier, especially with the temples. With the shape of them, you definitely need it. But then you got the pathways that you can do. I think that's a good add, which you can really use the parkour there and the grappling hooks and stuff. So I like that kind of got little things in between there to add that, you know, give you that opportunity to really use the parkour. I think that's a good addition to it. Um, but no, personally, I'd probably give this game around a 8ish, 8ish, or maybe 8.5 out of 10. I think it's a pretty good game. It's up there with my favourites. Like I said, it's not like the best one, but it's definitely one of the best personally. And as I said, I'll do a video explaining, showing. I'll do like a ranking sort of thing, but I'm going to take a bit more time to do that so I can get a more definite list on it. I've only got a rough one at the moment that I did while I was on the toilet, so that's not a final list, but I'll work on it a bit more, and then once I get a good list, I'll start getting the video going. But no, for me, I personally like this game. I think it's a game worth trying and playing. Don't if you go in with an open mind and don't, follow the whole Ubisoft hate train, I think you'd really enjoy this game, especially for an RPG. Nice little RPG game, I personally think. So I'll definitely give this game a try. But as I said, it's just my personal opinion. Your opinion might be different, so drop your opinion in the comments down below and let me know. Let me know what other videos you might want to see in the future. I'll drop my links in the description for my other channels, and yeah, comment. Let me know what you want to see in the future, what things of Assassin's Creed you want me to cover, what games in the series, and we'll have a look. So drop a comment, let me know, and we'll, good future ahead. So thank you guys for watching. As I said, I'll try and upload as frequent as possible, but thank you guys for watching, and leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next video.
Huh.